Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jewel. We are going to make an envelope journal kind of list keeper for Christmas. Or you can, you don't have to do it for Christmas. But I thought these would make nice gifts. And what they are is they are actually a way to keep track of your Christmas lists, your receipts, making notes through the holidays and I've done it with envelopes. So we're going to make one of these today. They're not difficult. And I'm going to show you the one I've already made, and we're going to do another one. And I've got it partial way made already so that you don't have to watch the whole thing, but you get the gist of it. Okay, so this is just a little enclosure over the top of this little thing that I'll show you here that I'm going to reveal. And this just has a little reindeer on it. This is done in the vintage type theme. And an elastic band, because this will grow as the lists and the notes through the holidays grow. And I know we are only in August, but if you want to make these for gifts, you might want to start now. Here's the front of it, and what I've done here is this is done with three decoupaged and stamped envelopes, and then a variety of different papers. So right here is just a little wax seal, and I've got it velcroed down, and this is the first envelope, and this is the way it opens up, and I'll show you. So this opens up here like this. Okay, here is the papers for writing on. And you know what's kind of neat about this is in the middle of this, if you want to give these as gifts, it's I just did an inscription, "May your days be merry and bright." So that's the middle of the signature. So it would make a nice gift, or you could use it as a journal insert. And then here is the middle envelope. The middle envelope makes up the bulk of the journal part. And here's the back envelope. So it's simply done, and I'll show you with 3 envelopes. So you can do any 3 sizes you want. And we're going to complete this one today, but we're going to I'm going to show you my process of decoupaging the envelopes and the stamping I do and the embossing and the way I get these different effects. So inside this front envelope, I'm just going to show you, I've got a variety of different papers that you could add in. Anything you want where they can make lists, or what, for the holidays. Like, I keep track of gifts I buy and what people, if I ask them, what do you want for Christmas, like my grandchildren, my children, and I'll write a list for that, or just make lists through the holidays, because, it can get a little hairy at times. So I've just simply, in all of the envelopes, I've put a variety of different papers for lists. As you can see, this has some pretty embossing on it, and it's got some decoupaging and some stamping, and we're actually going to do one of these envelopes today. And you could put a pocket in here. I have a pocket on the back envelope, but I didn't want to cover these pretty decoupaged areas. I just like the way the envelopes came out. Okay, so inside this middle envelope, it's a side, you know, like in this one is like on the front, and we'll construct this the way I did it here, and you can probably construct it any other way you want. Is I have a journaling card here, and then I have this paper from the desk of Santa Claus. So I thought that would make a nice place to make a list. See both sides. So I added a nice variety of papers in this. But you can, and this I got from the Graphics Fairy. This one was a piece of cardstock. Some are from a Tsunami Rose kit. I think one was from a Calico Collage kit. Just wherever. There's free downloads on Pinterest for, you know, Christmas lists and things like that. Here, I feel like we're crooked. I've got a little gold doily here with a little envelope, you know, for receipts. These are coin envelopes that I make, and I do have a tutorial on how to make those. Just a variety of different papers. This is a pretty little vellum, printed vellum with little kids, you know, playing in the snow and sledding and all that stuff that you do up north. I'm down here, we don't get snow. And then a variety of different papers throughout. Here's a little, says my wish list for Santa, my name is, so that would be fun to make a note on. I've got a little clip here, however you want to put your journal together. So in here is the other part of that envelope, and in here I did the same thing again. I added a variety of ephemera type things to make notes to. I found this as a free on Pinterest as a free download, and I just cut it out. It says my Christmas wish list. So, you know, both sides of those are available to journal on, and I just thought this would make a nice gift for your friends, and there's a lot of room in these envelopes to store. I did do a pocket on this back envelope, one side of the back envelope, and I think this is Tsunami Rose, and this is Graphics Fairy. It's a little booklet. That's actually, it's called a card, and I just printed that out and cut it out. So made a little pocket here out of cardstock, and that's in there. And then the back cover again, I've got just a little Velcro. I did some embossed stamping here, and in here again are more areas for lists. And this is a cute little gift certificate that, you know, they could give that as a gift if they're gonna, you know, do something like that. I used to do that with the kids. This gift certificate is good for this and that and things like that. And I think I just added in the middle signature where I tied it off, I can find it, is just some a button and a couple of little red beads. So that is the one I made, and we are going to make another one. That one I might just pop into my Etsy store, or I don't know, might give it as a gift. I've made some envelopes. We're gonna make one today, but this one I'm making a journal out of this Stamperia paper pad, and it is Christmas Stamperia Pink Christmas scrapbooking, and it is like done in pink, and it's so pretty. So this envelope, little envelope set, is going to be actually an insert. So this is how we're going to do it. You're going to need some napkins. You're going to need 3 envelopes, one that's larger than the other 2. And let me just show you the size of these envelopes that I have here. I think that one's a little smaller. The 2 smaller envelopes are, this is a 5 3/4. See, here's the back side. 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. So I have 2 in that size. Okay, and I've already decoupaged these, but I've got another one that we're going to do so I can show you my technique. Because everybody does a different, slightly different way of doing their decoupage. And then the bigger envelope, which will be the center, in the center, and that's where I'm going to sew my papers into. This envelope, let me get a bigger, here we go. This one is 8 and a little over 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, a little over 5 1/2. So this one, I just simply, this is the one that's going in the middle. I simply folded it in half after I did my decoupage. And this one I've got gold and mostly like a gold and pink and stamps like that. So the way this is going to be is this will be the inside, and then I have a variety of papers here that we will assemble together to make the signature. And then then you're going to have 2 envelopes. One is going on one side. Let me see. Let me bring back this one so you can see it. And one is going to be on the other side. And you can do the flaps out or in, how, you know, if you want it to go this way, you can. I just liked it like this. So, because I kind of like the little, you know, little enclosure on the outside, if you want to do it that way. So, okay, so we're going to make one of these. Also, I wanted to tell you, on my larger envelopes, because I coffee dyed these, by the way, I coffee dyed the envelopes first. You don't have to. And then I came in and inked them. So I did coffee dye this envelope. I'm just going to take a bone folder real quick because it's, and try to flatten it out. You know, you could iron them if they come out a little poofy on you. I usually put them, after I coffee dye, I put heavy books on the top of my envelopes and coffee dyed papers and things like that. There's a little glare here. I feel like we have a glare. I have a different lighting system in here now. And I was going to do, here, I'm going to turn this way. I was going to do a craft room tour, and I did it yesterday, and it came, so you can see my camera system and things like that if you're interested in doing YouTube videos. And it was so shaky because I was holding the camera, and I have a bit of a shake from meds I'm on as it is, so I said, I'm gonna try that one again. So I got rid of the video. It's not up there. Okay, so what I wanted to say about the larger on the inside, you can have your pockets any way you want. Because it was coffee dyed, it loosens up on the sides. Let me see if I have let me grab an envelope, a bigger envelope over here so you can see what I mean. Okay. Here's a big one. I have another one here, but I had already opened up the sides of this one. You can, because the glue gets loose, you can just come, from it being wet, you can just come in and loosen up the sides. Well, that one ripped, but normally this side loosened right up. See, now I would come in and glue that so you have the sides open. So that's how I did that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this. We're gonna actually construct these 3 because they're done, but I'm gonna show you how I get going. The first thing I do is I will come in and ink, and I pulled out this multi-surface chalk ink by Dewdrop, and it's called Red Magic, and it gives off like a pinkish tone because I'm going to be doing the pink Christmas. But whatever inks you have is fine. I like this chalk ink because it's a lot like the Distress Oxides. It's a real, it's like a very soft, it gives it like, it glides really nice. If any of you have ever used the Distress Oxide, you know it works different than the Distress inks. So I'm gonna just come in and just do just a little inking around the sides. And let me do the back because you're gonna see the back. Now this is one of the smaller size envelopes. If you want to, you can just, you know, pick it up and do it that way. I'm also going to add a little bit of the red in here because it gives it a nice, say, pinkish. This is a pink napkin. See the color, if the camera's picking it up. I'm looking and it's not picking it up great, but all right, then sometimes I'll just come in and just do a little bit because a lot of this is going to be covered with okay, now I'm using the same inker simply because it's all it all blends together. Okay. Okay, I think that's enough on that side. Let's do a little bit here. And I'm going to open this envelope up and make sure I get in here because you see that part. And I ink in there as well. And then I'll go right here just to, you know, whatever your preference is. I just like a lot of ink. I pretty much ink everything. It's very time consuming if you're putting together a journal to ink all the edges of all the pages, but that's just something that I do because detail is extremely important to me, especially in the fact that I sell my books. Okay, so then that's the first thing I do. I'll leave this open. Then I have a variety of different script type stamps. These are all Christmas themed because that's what we're going for here. I have this one. I have this. This one I can't really show you because the back is off it, but it's a nice script stamp. And I'm actually going to start with that one. And I'm just going to use the vintage photo. Whatever color you want to do, but I'm going for a vintage look for these. So since that cardstock I'm using is very vintagey, I'm not even putting this on a block. I'm just coming in, and because it doesn't have to be perfect for, see, they got a nice script on there. So let me pick that up, and I'm just going to do maybe a little on this side. I'm going to move that one out of the way. I have this one, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So I think I'm going to use that one. We'll just pop that up here, and a little bit on this side, down here. You know, a lot of this will get covered up. Then let me see, I've got this one, Handle with Care. Now, I've been collecting stamps for many years, so I used to make cards, and I had a lot of stamps from that. So if you only have 1 or 2 stamps, that's fine. My suggestion, if you do junk journals, always have at least 1 script stamp, because you're gonna reach for that over and over and over again. I've got an angel here. I have this Yuletide's greetings. And I have this one, O Holy Night, the stars are brightly shining. This is the night of our dear Savior's birth. That's what Christmas is about. And this, like, I make tags out of this one. So that one's kind of neat. I think I'm going to pop, let me see, what do I have over here? That's pretty full. Let me just pop the end of that over here. And I think that's good, because we're going to come in next and we're going to do a little decoupaging. Okay, so with that, I have a stack, excuse me for my reach, of different envelopes here, or different napkins rather here. And since I'm doing some of the pink tones, I'm going to pull out this napkin, is this one with the gold deer. I only had 1 of that. It was sent to me. It really goes well with this paper pad, the Stamperia paper pad that I'm going to be using. This is a neat vintage napkin. Some of these I only have, like I said, 1 of. Okay, so I think I'm going to take an image from here because it has a deer on it. And I usually just come in and, to separate your napkins, okay, for instance, this, you got to take off, if any of you are new, I'm sure you're not, but if you are, you want to take the white backings off of the napkins, and they're either a 2-ply or a 3-ply. And an easy way to do that is just to take a little piece of tape and just pull up. Now this one looks like there's another ply. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It just feels a little thick and it doesn't look sheer enough to me. Yeah, there is another ply there. So you want to make sure and there it is. See that? See how thin? So your napkin is going to be very translucent. See that? And that's how it goes on the best. Because then the layers will peel up if you didn't get it all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to take this little one off, this little deer. And let me just rip right down here. So that's a piece. I'm going to use that and put that aside. Let me get a piece off of this one. I like the, actually these gold dots. So I'll probably rip that down, and one of these deer. And I'll kind of lay this out. I may have to come back and rip another. It's, the less you overthink it, the best it comes out, really. This is a little bit too red, but I do like this little image of a girl, but I think I have her. Yeah, I already put her on here, so I think I will go over here. I've got Santa here. Let me do Santa. Now, I might not use all of this, but I just want to get a few. And let's get this angel here. So you kind of just look at your napkins and see, what images that you like. Okay, I have Mod Podge. This is matte because I like the matte. I don't really want the shiny on this. So let's open that. I feel like you know what, guys? I feel like we're too close. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Sorry about that. For some reason, I feel like it's sinking. And I get my, I don't like to use the sponges. I like to use a paintbrush. And with this, keep it, you know, make sure you get that Mod Podge right off, or else I've many times forgot to stick this in water in between and it'll get hard on you. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Lay out, see where I want these. I'm just going to put one on at a time. I think I'm going to put this deer right over here. Just like that. So I just put a little bit of the Mod Podge in. Less is best, okay, because you can always come back and put more. If you put too much, you're going to be more apt for it to bubble, and your paper, it will wrinkle more. But if you don't mind the wrinkled look, then that's okay. See, I do have some wrinkles in here, but I can usually work them out. And what's nice is you can see the script stamping right behind there. So I will put this aside to dry. The other ones are dry. And usually if I come around the edge like this, or I have some hanging off the edge, I will just bring that right over the edge like that. Or you can trim it off, you know. All right, so we got a little deer there. Let's put, I think we want a little something probably down here. Kind of go for balance. A little tiny bit of Mod Podge there. Just put it, I just kind of just go right around the back this way. All right, so there, I think that's good for this side because I'm going to come back and do some embossing on it, or wet embossing. And that you don't have to do that part. You could come in with like a gold gel pen if you wanted to add some gold. Like I have two gel pens here. Well, this isn't really gel. This one's more like a, let me show you what it looks like. You can, I don't know if you can see that there's the gold. It's more like a gold marker. This one is a gel. This is called the Jelly Roll. These are, I think, by Sakura. And they make a variety of different jelly rolls. And you can see that's, gel pens, and that's a gold. And they really look pretty. Like right here, if I wanted to come in and just like go around this stamp, or this, this stamp, I could do that. You know, it just adds a little bit of highlighting. All right, now let's put I'm actually gonna have to dry this a little bit so I can flip it over. So here goes the heat gun, guys. Sorry for the noise. And make sure you don't get too close so that your Mod Podge does not bubble. So I have to kind of stay back. But I usually let these dry by themselves, so I don't get any bubbling. All right, so, but since I want to show you the embossing technique, okay, now we have a Santa here, and we have some of this. I think I'll put the Santa here, down here. So let me just make this a little smaller. And there's a little pink rose there that's sweet. So let me get a little bit of this. Usually I pour the Mod Podge in another container, but I didn't, so I didn't have to go down because it's half gone. But I didn't have a container on the desk, so I'm having to kind of dig down in there for it. Whoops. Okay, so there's Santa. And I'm going to add a little bit of pink. And I'm going to put this over here. Pink and gold dots. Actually, that's a little bit too big. Now some of this may get covered up if I decide to do a pocket on these, but you know what, that's okay. It's all about, you know, just the different elements, you know, a little collage here and there. All right, simple, simple. I'm gonna, whoops, that one really wrinkled. I'm trying to rush. There we go. If you hear the chewing in the background, any of you that watch my channel, you know the dogs are chewing on bones. That's how I get them to be good while I'm doing the filming. I was just thinking I wanted something up here. Let's go ahead and do this Happy New Year. Let me see. Let me look at this real quick. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I just wanted to get that whole, it's like a little, oh, I went right through it. Oh well. I think I'll just do what I've got here. I ripped right through it. They are fragile. All right. And the matte leaves a nice, you know, vintagey feeling. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in water, close up my Mod Podge. Got a piece of parchment paper on the top so it doesn't stick. You can use wax paper, you know, whatever you have. I'm just getting a baby wipe because I got a little Mod Podge on me, so. Okay, so now this is ready for us to do a little, I want to do a little bit more on it. It's very damp right now, but here, let me just try to dry this a little bit over here real quick. Sorry about the noise, guys. But I want to show you this embossing because it just adds some, you know, if you don't have the embossing powder, you can skip this step. If you can add anything you want to your envelope. Okay, this is copper. I'm not going to use copper. I'm going to use, I have this brass. Okay, I'm going to use Glam Gold because of the gold deer and the gold that's in the, whoops, in the some of the paper and some of the napkins rather. And I have this little tray. You can just, to catch the excess, so I can dump it right out. It's got a little hole on it. And we are going to pick out a few stamps here. I liked this part up here of this one. So I'm gonna go ahead, and you need a watermark. I like the Versamark. There's different brands. It's like a sticky whatever if you are new to embossing. And you just put it on like a regular stamp. And then, oh, this is sticking. Pop it right where you think you might want your embossing. Okay, now you can't really see, but it's there because it's clear. But the magic happens when the heat gun hits it. So I'm just going to pour a little of my embossing powder on the top. And what this does is it gives a metallic look. So I gotta heat it. And I'm going to try to turn it so you can see. Do you see that? How that's turning? That way you get a nice, pretty, just a little gold raised texture. Okay, for those of you that are new to embossing, and clean your stamps right off, because your stamps will be useless for stamping ink if you let that embossing or let this stuff build up. So I have got 2 little snowflake stamps, so I think we're going to use that. Let me just, maybe down here. There's no gold here or nothing here. And a little there. And there again, let me just heat it. Isn't that pretty? So delightful. Okay, so that's probably enough gold here. I think we'll put a little something on the back. I liked this handle with care, so in special delivery, I think we'll just do the top part of that. Okay. Oops, I'm sticking. Oh well. I'll unstick it after. Okay. A little bit. And then I'll come back later and probably put 1 or 2 more little elements on this. But for right now, so we can move on, we'll just do that. There we go. And I'll come back and add a couple more probably in here, but for the essence of time, here's another envelope, and it's quite sweet. So I'm going to dump this right in here, back in here. The only thing with embossing powder is it does make a mess. It really does. Okay, so I'll put that aside. Now, we are going to move on to the construction. I'm putting this one aside because it's not completely dry, and I'm going to pull out 2 that I already, or 2 that I had already finished. Actually, I finished all 3. Like I said earlier, you fold the middle one up, then we're going to have 1 on this side, and we're going to have 1 on this side. So what I'm going to do is, whoops. So we've got this one here, and we have this one here, and then the one in the middle. So we want to put them together now, and how I did that is I made a little hinge out of cardstock. I came in and I did a little stamping on it and I inked it. So we're going to glue one side down, and then we're going to tuck the middle part in and we're going to glue the other side down, and this will be sewn together. So let me find my glue. Okay, here it is. Oops. This keeps sinking. I think guys, we're getting, it's, for some reason, something is wrong with my camera. I had moved it around, and I'm sorry I have to adjust this again, but I do. I see it keeps sinking. I think it's coming from on one of these other, there we go. I hope I'm not too close. Okay, so we're just gonna put a bead of glue down one side of the hinge. And I meant to angle, to cut this on an angle, and I didn't do it. Like this, guys. Come in and just, you know, angle it up a little bit. It fits a little bit better, but I didn't. Okay, so here's the front. This will be the front. You know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I could have used that for the front, or this for the front rather. Then this is going to pop in the middle. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and do the other one. And like I said, I have the flaps out. Okay, so let me go ahead and glue on this side. See, there's a little, make sure you leave a little space in the middle. So that, it's usually like 1/8 of an inch that I leave between the two. Now this is gonna pop right in here, and that's going to be the next two pockets that I'm going to fill. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add our papers. I have a variety of papers. Let me move these stamps out of the way. And how you decorate your book is all up to you. If you know, it has plenty of decorations on it with the embossing and stuff, because I might come in and add a couple pockets, like I said. Here I have a variety of papers, and let's go ahead and put, I have this it's real pretty cardstock. It's like a glossy. It's all kind of Christmas themed. I found one of these card inserts, may your days be bright and merry, and I've cut all of these down. So let's figure out how we want to do this. Okay, I think I'll start with this. It's like a vintage color paper. We could pop in here. This one looks like it's a little, let me trim off the end. It looks like it's a little long, because this is 5.5 by 4.5, so I'm pretty sure. 4 1/4. 5.5 by 4 1/4. Yeah, 5.5 by 4 1/4. So that's just the size, you know, I chose. I want that first. Yeah. Then we've got some plain coffee dyed white. I've got a little guest check that says hamburgers, 26 cents. Come on. Oh my goodness. And then a little ledger, vintage ledger. I did not ink these. I should have, but for the essence of time. Then I've got this little fold out paper. I've got this sweet doily. It's like a half. Let me see. Got this paper. This is drawing paper. Oops, goes this way. And this little small paper, and it looks to me like I'm gonna have to trim that one, so I'll just add this one in. Well, it still looks a little long or a little wide. Let me make sure these are going to fit. Yeah, they're fine. And I have one more sheet here. Actually, I have a little glassine bag. I'm gonna add that next. And just gonna add this one. Let me make sure these fit. Oh, you know what I wanted to add, guys? I wanted to add this printed vellum. It says holly berries. It's printed in gold, so I thought that would be pretty in there. Let me see. Where do I want to put that? I think I'll put it here. And I'm going to take this little gold doily and put it in as a pocket somewhere. Let me make sure these fit. I think I need to trim. Let me just trim off this one piece a little bit. I could take it to the cutter, but, or the cutter's over here, but it's covered with stuff, so. Just use my scissors. Scissors are fine. All right, now we're just gonna sew this in, and I'm going to clip it. So I have all my papers in here. Let me get 2 clips. We're just gonna do a basic pamphlet stitch, and I can use, since it's a small book, just crocheted thread. Make sure you know your papers are the right way. My candlestick, yeah, may your days be merry and bright, so that's this way. Okay. All right, let me grab my crochet thread and my needle. Here's my needle. And we need three lengths, because we're doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You're gonna need 3 times the length in the thread. Okay, let me just do this, and then I'll show you how I'm going to poke the holes here in a minute. Threading needles, not my strong suit. Jeez. I think I have some, I usually use wax linen. Sometimes you get a little bit of a wax buildup on the inside of your needle. So I am going to measure. Actually, I meant to clip these all together. I don't know why I just clipped that. Clip all of them, because I'm doing like I do a book cover. You don't clip the book cover, but these are envelopes, so and there we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and measure down 1 inch. And I'm just going to take a pencil and mark that because I want it to be even, because you're going to be seeing the thread on the outside of this. And then 1 inch this way. And then measure in the middle. So that's like 3 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to do, well, a little under 2, and that'll be in the middle. Just doesn't, when you eyeball it, doesn't look right, but it is. Okay, now I'm gonna find my pokey tool. I should have had that out, but you know, I put it away, which is a good thing, but. And I'm gonna go ahead and poke right through. And when I poke a hole, I like to close the book or close the signature. So you can get, you know, right through the middle. So you're not trying to hunt and peck for your pages. Usually you get a good, you go straight through. And now we're gonna sew. So in through the middle, and you can either go out or in through the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. I'll go in through the top, well, and then back through the middle. Hang on to your thread so it doesn't run away on you. And then back through the opposite side, and then we'll tie it off. Try not to get right up underneath the camera, because sometimes I don't see well, so, oops. Then in through the thread, pull the down, don't pull up, because you don't want to cut or make your hole bigger. And then I'll just do 2 knots. Okay, so here's our little book. Now all come, or little envelope, gift, whatever you decide to do. Let me go ahead and clip this because I'm going to make, real quick, I'm going to get my Velcro, and I'm just going to Velcro each side. Actually, I'm going to come back and put a little wax seal here, and what I do with the wax seal is, let me pull my wax seals out. I make them ahead of time, and I can do a pink one. I'll either do it, let me see, I have a fleur-de-lis. I think I'll do the rose. Okay. I will add the Velcro right to it, the wax seal. Oops, I'm getting out of frame, aren't I, guys? So I'm going to add 2. One on one side and one down at the other. And I'll come back and fill these because I think I'm going to fill them with some tags instead of the lists, because this is going into my book. Instead of the lists, like the, oops, here's the top of the Velcro. And to make sure they line up, I go ahead and just whoops, sorry guys, I was out of frame. Okay, that will be here and that'll be there. So that's a little Velcro, down, so they can, you have that. It's so pretty to do that. And sometimes I have to come back and add a little extra glue to the Velcro. So, wait a minute. Let me add it to this part right up here. And there we go. Okay. So we've got the things Velcroed down on both sides. Now you can use any kind of ribbon enclosure. You know, I use just the elastic, this elastic band. I probably might do the same thing. Well, I'm not. I'm going to be sewing this in. You can tie it up with muslin or whatever you want. I'm going to come back and I'm going to fill this up to go in my book, and I'm going to put this in here as a pocket right here and have a tuck spot and add a few other things. So guys, you know, if you want to try this project, it's a fun, simple project. Hope you got some tips today, and you can make some gifts for some of your friends to make their Christmas organizing easier. Christmas holiday, I should say, organizing easier. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.